Hey everybody, Danielle Matthews here. I am a post-traumatic growth specialist. I help people turn their pain into their power, and I'm a business mentor to hundreds as I partner with the ASEA company. I absolutely love their products and love teaching people how to create a side income with them. Um, Today, starting book club because I know that in order to get what you want in life, you got to work through what's in here. There's so much mental stuff, emotional stuff that we all have that's limiting us in our relationships. It's limiting us in our work. It's limiting us in business. With the people that I mentor, so much of what I see is that the reason they're not accelerating to the space they want to be is because of things that are in their own mind. And so I thought, look, let's everybody gather together. Let's start talking about concepts that can help us unlock what's within us that needs to come out. And I put it out there to you all which book we should start with, whether it was The Alchemist or The Power of Intention with Wayne Dyer. And I'm really happy you guys chose this, probably because it's what I wanted to. But The Power of Intention with Wayne Dyer is where we all landed. So I'm up on 2 platforms, and guys, I'm learning new things. So I have Facebook up, I have Instagram up, and the way we're going to do this is just kind of chatting through either. I want to make sure I can see comments. So if you're on and listening, just share a comment, just say hi. If you got your book, if you haven't gotten your book yet, if you've read Wayne Dyer before, or if this is your first time, kind of let me know in the comments. So I can see, who's here that we can connect with. I will be figuring out, hey Christy, I will be figuring out how to bring some of you guys live to maybe, hey Melissa, glad you're on here, to have conversations so it's more interactive. But I think the chat is really where I want to go with this. So Angela got the audiobook, nice. Charlotte, you love Wayne Dyer. Me too. I have come to absolutely adore this man. Peg says she's got her book. She loves Wayne Dyer. Peg, he was, before he passed away, I know he used to come to Mile High Church. So I don't know if you ever got to see him live, but perfect. Okay, so those of you that got the book and have been kind of following along, I've been saying to read the last chapter. Awesome. So Lou's read it. Melissa's read it. Perfect. Hey, Mark. Glad you're on here. Yes, Peg. Yeah. I thought he used to come to your church. So when I got the book and I opened it up, this is what the passage said, the preface from Wayne himself. I'm just going to read a little excerpt. He said, "If you'd like to know how this book might impact you and how you might think, feel, and co-create after reading and applying its messages, I encourage you to read the final chapter, A Portrait of a Person Connected to the Field of Intention, before beginning this journey." So that, just so you know, like, why did I have you start at the end? That's why I had you start with that chapter. Nice, Larry. First book club. My first book club too. So bear with me as we move through this one. But here's what I think. So my intention with book club, and let's just collectively set an intention. This is for us to create a space where we can gather like minds. All of you that are popping in here, I know you each individually and collectively. It's going to be incredible to have conversations. I want to share ideas. I want to help us all grow mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. That is the intention I'm setting with this book club. I believe that this book is going to launch us there. Just reading that last chapter, how many of you, somebody was commenting to me that they had tears. I was reading this and going, yes, 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 this is what it's all about. So I want to reflect on how we can take what we're learning in here, apply it to life, apply it to business. Many of you I know, through the ASEA business, and love working with you all. So let's dive in. Hey, Juliet, glad you're here. Hey, Marie. And please, guys, the chat is where I can interact with you, and I feel your energy. So please, please do. So first chapter, A Portrait of a Person Connected to the Field of Intention. For those of you that haven't gotten your book yet, I know that some of you guys said that it was still on its way. I'm going to give you just the general. Basically, he talks about this concept of what he calls connectors. And for those of you that read it, how many of you thought of a certain person that you're like, oh, they're a connector? I would love to actually hear what names came to mind For me, a good friend of mine, Nirmala, came to mind. She is like the epitome of this. And I so appreciated as I read this, like, oh, and having those people around you, like, it's beautiful. If you don't know anybody that, like, in the way he's described connectors, like, put that in the chat too, because maybe you'll be the first one. But I'd love to know who you thought of. So Juliet said yes. Here's the deal. So let me summarize what he said about connectors. And for those of you that didn't get a chance to read it yet, it might trigger some things. What he said is that these are people that what they think they create. They're in such harmony with the source, with the universe, with the field, that they know every thought that they have is going to be a creation in their reality. And they don't think about probability. They don't sit and think, what's the likelihood, or what's the economic circumstances, or is this good timing, or is it not? They simply think possibility. What are the possibilities here? What is it that I would like to create? What are my desires? And they vibrate in that space. They aren't drawn down by anything, which is such a powerful example. So Peg is saying, several friends from Mile High Church, and Mal Sword. Yeah, Mal's a great example of this. I know Mal as well. Very successful entrepreneur. He talks about how connectors, they see synchronicity in everything. And they realize, like, there's no mistakes, right? You saw this post that I made, wherever I made it, and something in your soul resonated and said, I need to be there. So you are here, right? That was divine guidance. I set out a very powerful intention. Let this reach the people that are supposed to be part of this with me. And boom, you all showed up. Melissa's saying she knows some people that are really close to this. Yeah, I think it takes a lot of inner work to get to this space, which is hopefully what we can create together. Hey, Leah, glad you're here. I want to read this excerpt to you. So I'm on page 247 for those of you that got the book. And I want to just let this kind of kick off a discussion. So he says, to connectors, everything that shows up in their life is there because of the power of intention intended it to be there. So they're always in a state of gratitude. They feel thankful for everything, even things that might seem to be obstacles. They have the ability and desire to see a temporary illness as a blessing. And they know in their heart that somewhere an opportunity exists in that setback. And that is what they look for in everything that shows up in their life. I would love to hear, like, I read that and that, like, that hit my heart so deeply, because that's what I truly believe. I mean, I say I help people turn their pain to power, but it's like the antidotes and the obstacle. I would love to hear, what have you guys been through in life that showed up as a challenge, but actually ended up being one of the most powerful experiences for you? Perhaps it opened you up to a new relationship, maybe a new job. I mean, this is where, like, when we take this conceptually and then we bring it into our life, and maybe it's not your life, maybe a loved one. I agree, Charlotte. The only way to go is forward. But can you think about and reflect on, like, one of the most difficult things that you've been through? Massive obstacle. Divorce, Lou said. Yeah. Peg gave an example of a mutual friend, Mal Sword. I can share his story a little bit while you guys are thinking. Mal was bankrupt and actually in debt, had been through a divorce and couldn't even do Uber because his car was so old and outdated. It wasn't even approved to be able to, like, drive Uber. And through that, what we would say is a massive mess, like the bottom of the bottom where he was, he ended up going through and doing a lot of mental work, right? Listening to a lot of things, shifting his inner world. And as he shifted his inner world, he started to find opportunities. He found ASEA, which is the company that I know him through, and took off and has helped thousands of other people now get out of debt. Like, he used this really terrible thing in his life as, it's like, once you hit rock bottom, like, you got something solid to stand on, you know? And he used that to propel. Christy says, losing both of her parents. I would love to hear, guys, what opened up from that. So from the divorce, Lou, what opened up in you? Did you find new aspects of yourself? I'm seeing Angela said a divorce. Ooh, a divorce for her led to a new career in science. Beautiful. Absolutely. Whoops, those of you on Instagram, sorry. My thing just fell off. So Peg said she sold her house and with only 3 days before it was foreclosed. So thinking I'm at the end, there's nothing I can do. It's about to be foreclosed on, and then the universe provided. Yeah, think about what opened up in you. So Larry, when you went through bankruptcy, when you went through the loss of a job, like what did that shift within you? I think this is what so many of us, I think, miss, or we hold on to that really terrible experience and are almost afraid of it happening again. And thus we're actually holding on to the energy of lack. We're holding on to the energy of fear, of worry, of insecurity, of thinking, oh my gosh, I need to control things in this external world so something like that doesn't happen again. Like if you don't grab the lesson from that experience, like the pattern's going to repeat. Those things come into our life to strengthen us. So Leah says what she gained from it was a complete new strength within herself. Oops. Which has led to different opportunities, and I've actually led her to Athea. Yeah, it's so interesting. What I have seen when people go through struggles, what comes out on the other side, I see a lot of people get into entrepreneurship. They sort of like say, hey, I've realized now I can create my own life. I can create my reality. They draw in these powerful things for their health when it's health issues. Like it's amazing what can happen when you go through these what seem like terrible times. So perfect. So Lou said she found talk therapy was no longer helpful, and she started to do energy work, and that transformed her life. So Lou was sharing how she went through a divorce, tried talk therapy. That's same with me, Lou. After my car accident, I went to therapy. It was beneficial. There were definitely some benefits of it. But everything really started to shift when I started to connect to source, when I started to connect to the infinite, when I started to realize that, wow, there is so much out there beyond the physical, and that this is all energy, and learn to transform. So Lou, I love that you've had that experience. I have a hunch that's where we're going with this. Melissa is saying that her pain is helping her to move forward on her spiritual journey, seeing it all as a way to help others as you release your own pain. Yeah, I think I resonate with that a lot. Beautiful. I love the conversation and the start of it. And maybe you've never considered that the obstacle, right, is the way, that the obstacle was actually teaching you something, something that I believe to be true. For myself, I went through a brain trauma. I couldn't get back to the life that I had known before, even though I kept trying. And finally, I had to just release and say, okay, I've got to accept that this has occurred. And, life, it felt like I was treading water, like trying to get back to how things were and like freaking out. I don't know if you all can resonate with that, but I was not trusting the universe like at all. And once I released, once I said, okay, there's gotta be something that's coming from this, and I let go, it was like the emotional turmoil was gone. And all of a sudden things could flow. And when we try to control things, like we compress the universe's ability to give to us, God, whatever your beliefs are, into like, we pigeonhole it. But when we release and we just let the infinite bring us what it's meant to, when it's meant to, we open up so much. So Leah, you've definitely been there. You get it. Yeah. So Larry's sharing, when he went through bankruptcy, he determined within himself that he shouldn't rely on a job as his only source of income. Right. It opens you up to possibility. Like, well, what else can I do? I'm just going to share some of these comments as they're coming in. Marie says, I was in a really bad marriage that was not good. Not wanting to go through another divorce, God used a friend to give me the song, I Hope You Dance. I knew it was time to let go. John came into my life, and he is the best man God could have ever brought into my life. We both help other people, and couples never give up on life. It's beautiful, Marie. Beautiful. So that passage, hit me really hard. And I also, what's interesting, right underneath it, guys, the top of page 248, I wrote in the margin, this is different than prayer. Okay, so let me read what he said. He says, through their thanks, they honor all possibilities rather than asking their source for something, because that seems to give power to what's missing. There is so much depth in that sentence. So they don't ask for something because the energy of that means it's missing in their life. Sit with that. I've read that sentence probably 10 times and I went, wow, so when we pray and are asking for specific things, the energy behind that, just check it, because it's actually, can be, not for everyone, but it can be this lack. I don't have enough. And you're actually putting more energy into that. I mean, that hit me so hard and I went, huh. And so what they said about these connectors, what Wayne is saying is they commune with the source in a state of reverent gratitude for all that's present in their lives, knowing that this empowers their intention to manifest precisely what they need. So what he's saying is connectors are just grateful. Whatever shows up, they say thank you. Whatever shows up, it's thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. What's the gift in this? Where's the opportunity in this? Sometimes it shows up in ways we don't expect. Like how many people are like, you know, life turned out differently. I never expected this moment to change things in the way they did, but it's like, it did. Candy is sharing, okay, this is huge. She had a double mastectomy at 32 years old. Abuse from her first husband, divorce from a second husband after a DUI he had. Holy cow, all these things she's sharing. Son being run over by a car, a few other things. And what's helped her was being part of the network marketing industry. She said she was part of Amway, now she's part of ASEA. And the books she's read and the support of being around like-minded people, we have worth and God created us for the better, and we can help others as we come through our own struggles. Amen, Candy. And when you hold a space of gratitude for that, so Candy, I don't know if you have ever sent gratitude to those men, because of them, you are who you are, and you've landed where you've landed. I think a lot of us, sometimes we take the negative, like the intense stuff, and we hold on to that, not realizing like that's what's meant to be released. You know, I have a friend, Bob Sima, he's a beautiful musician, writes amazing lyrics, and he has a song, he says, you know, these mountains that we carry on our back, we're only supposed to climb. And if you think about that, how many people are just carrying this weight with them from the stuff they've been through, rather than having used it to create strength, right? We go to the gym and we break down our muscle so that we get stronger. And you love that, Leah? Yeah. We forget to apply the same concept to life. We just totally forget that in life, mental, emotional, and spiritual strength comes from going through the hard times. It comes from going through the challenges, right? And just change the lens, right? Don't think it's good or bad. It just is what it is. What can you learn from it? How can you grow from it? Totally shifts things. And I love what he says, that connectors just totally are in a space of gratitude. Whatever shows up, you know, they're in a complete space of gratitude. There's a Chinese, I think it's a Chinese proverb. Let's see if I can get this right, but it's coming to me. There's like a farmer, and he's whatever doing his land, and he comes across a horse, and he gets a horse, and his neighbor says, "Oh, what great luck! You know, you've gotten a horse." And oh no, rewind. His horse comes away, like gets out, and the neighbor says, "Oh, I'm sorry. What bad luck? You know, I'm sorry your horse has left." And the neighbor says, or he says, "Well, you know, it is what it is. It's not good or bad. It just is." And he says, "We'll see," right? So he's holding this space of he's okay with everything. So he just says, "Well, we'll see." So then a week later, the horse comes back and it brings another with it. And the neighbor says, "Wow, what great fortune. You know, you've got the best luck. Now you've got two horses." And the gentleman says, "Well, we'll see," right? Not saying it's good or bad. It just is what it is. And then the son is riding the new horse, is bucked off and breaks his leg. And the neighbor says, like, "What terrible misfortune. I'm so sorry that this has happened to you." And the neighbor says, you know, or the guy says, "Well, we'll see. Not that it's good, not that it's bad, just we'll see what comes." Well, then the next week, the army comes through recruiting all young men to come fight in the war. His son can't go because he has a broken leg. And the neighbor says, "Wow, what great fortune that, you know, your son has broken his leg and therefore he can't be recruited." And the guy says, well, we'll see. And it's just, I probably butchered sharing that story, but it's such an amazing example of when you are just grateful for what is and don't put the it's good or it's bad on it, right? That's your ego, that's that lens. If you just remove that and be thankful for what it is, it all comes down to that. As you say, Melissa, it's all life. It's just ups and downs. It always just is. Remember the law of polarity. Things swing, equal, and opposite. Mark, I'm glad you found that powerful. Yeah, when I first read that, I was like, oh, that's it. And that's what he's talking about, right? These connectors, like that man is an example of someone that's connected, that just knows life is going to be what it's going to be, and I'm going to trust that it's all unfolding for my greatest good. Period. End of sentence. Full stop. That's it. It's all unfolding for my greatest good. You needed this today, Leah. Good. That was the intent. Okay. So the other thing that grabbed me was on page 250. And guys, I'm kind of dominating this, go through this round because I wasn't sure how many of you had been able to read this. And please, by all means, if you got takeaways from this, or if there's an excerpt that you want to like highlight, please say it. But I just kind of sticky noted some things to pull out for those that didn't have the book yet. This one, huge. Okay. Connectors simply don't allow their well-being to be contingent on anything external to themselves. Not the weather, not the wars, someplace that are on the globe, not the political landscape, not the economy, and certainly not anyone else's decision to be low energy. They work with the field of intention, emulating what they know is the creative source of all. And I want, this is a self-reflection. Are you swayed by the external world? Or are you able to hold a space internally and internally dictate how things are and how you show up? Or does the world cause you to be buffeted, right? What's happening on the news, what your best friend is saying, what your parents are saying, what your sister is saying, what the person, for those of you in ASEA, the person that you're sharing ASEA with is saying to you. I am super curious, and I mean, if you're open to being vulnerable, putting it in the chat, who here gets swayed by the external world? Yeah, Charlotte, it takes practice. I agree. I mean, for a long, long time, I was completely beholden to whatever was happening externally, and I sought validation externally. I don't know how many of you have been under that, but I felt if the world said I was good enough, then I was good enough. And, I would go up and down with what was in the news cycle. I would go up and down with politics. And then slowly I just started to withdraw myself because I realized this isn't serving me and only I'm making me miserable inside. And I started to write my own weather pattern. I started to hold the space internally. And I love that the chat is kind of going through. I want to share. So I find it most difficult to do this when I'm around negative people. I have been working on making it my choice how to feel, but it takes a whole lot of breath work. Yeah, who can relate with that? I'm seeing a lot of the work in progress. I'm my worst critic. Some people saying I'm less and less swayed by the external world. I get swayed, but I'm realizing I need to let go. Yeah. Continual practice. Leah says, recognizing that I can't control this, that slaps me in the face often. Yep. I think this is the human journey, and that's why this, I think, is going to just uplift all of us. I anticipate that he's going to be giving us some ideas and, how to be in the space and hold the space of connector. But I think this chapter to me was wow, here are the tips. If there is something that is the intention of where I want to go, I want to be a person and just show up this week. So guys, collectively, this next week, let's try and practice this where we don't let the world sway us. We just hold our space. Don't have preference. Think about it like the sky. The sky does not care if there is a hurricane blowing through or if it's a tornado, or if it's a sunny day, like the sky's just there. It's all allowing, it's not judgmental, like it is just holding this space for weather to move through. And it has no preference, knowing that it's going to blow through. So I would love it if this week we can collectively just say, you know what, I'm going to be like the sky. Whatever's blowing in, I'm just going to allow it to be there, and I'm going to send it love and gratitude and monitor my internal dialogue and all the chatter that's happening, but I'm just going to send it love and gratitude. I think, like, I want to hear what this does. I think it's just going to lift all of us. Melissa's saying, yes, it's like a muscle. It takes time. It's practice. Angela's saying she can relate to needing to withdraw. And it's totally fine, guys. Create boundaries. Like if there is someone that's constantly dragging you down, create the boundary. You know, hold your space. Create the space. Send love and hold your space. Leah says she's going to be like this guy. Good idea. Yes, Charlotte. Pegs in. Okay. Candy says the news pulls her down. Yeah. Christy, you love the idea. Yeah. I think, guys, if look at what it is. Everything we digest, I think a lot of us, I mean, those of you in ASEA, right? I think we're all very conscious about what we put in our bodies. That's why we drink ASEA. And I think we forget that we're also digesting the energy of the people around us, the information we're taking in on social media, the information we're hearing on the news, the friends and the gossip and the chatter that's around us. All of that is energy that you're taking in. And so just become super aware of what's coming into your world. And I think this week, if we just audit it and we just observe what's coming in, let it be there, and then monitor how it's making our internal world feel, I think we can start to create some boundaries. I think we can all start to go, okay, you know, this person, and it like works both ways. Like, who feeds your soul? You know, like, and how can you be around the people that are feeding your soul more? Those are the people I seek. Is like, wow, I feel great when I'm in their presence. Like, let me go be around that some more. Yes, beautiful. So Melissa said that this chapter helped her see what this all looks like at the end. Yeah, I think it was brilliant to start at the end with where we're going. And I'm really excited to see next week. I mean, just like if we start applying some of these little things, it's going to be powerful. That's the one that I just want all of us to apply. One other thing that he says in here about connectors that hit me, probably because I need to do this more. He said, look, thinking and acting the same as the all-providing source from which all originates. This, he says, this is the secret to the power of intention. It's always providing, and I choose to be a provider too. The more I give of myself and all that flows to me, the more I see it flowing back to me. So he's talking about not having this, well, if I do this, you do this. If you have this space of, well, I'm giving, you give here, it's tit for tat. You're blocking things. Connectors just give. Lou, that was powerful for you too. Yeah, when I read that, I mean, I like highlighted, I'm writing in the side of the book. I'm like, whoa, it's just all about giving. And when you open all the doors and windows in the house, right? Like air's flowing in from everywhere. And if you're just giving, you don't know which window or door the next thing is going to come through. And you're not even expecting it. You just say, hey, I'm giving, knowing that it flows back, like equal and opposite. That's how it all goes. Juliet pointed out, she the thing that hit her was they repeat to themselves, I want to feel good. And they'll bring their thoughts and harmony into this desire. She practiced this over the weekend to rewire things, and it was wonderful. Leave it to Wayne to model seeing the end first, as if it's already happened. Amen. Like, brilliant. We go to the end because this is where we're trying to get, and all of us are realizing, woo, we got some work before we get there, but isn't that what life is all about? So that, I think we're coming on half hour. I think book club, how do you guys feel? Does a half hour feel like adequate? This is our thing, so it can be whatever you guys want. 30 minutes was feeling good to me. And just tell me in the chat, is 30 minutes feeling good to you? Should we meet each Monday for a half hour? Where'd you guys go? Oh, there we go. Okay, perfect. Love it. Thanks. Yes. 30 minutes is working for us. Okay. Yeah. This is fun. Yes, 30 minutes is good. Yeah, 30 minutes is feeling good for me too. I feel like there's a lot to take in. I and guys, I'm gonna figure this out with you. Like this is our community to figure out. So I'm liking this back and forth with the chat and being able to do it. We're on 2 different platforms, so the conversation is in 2 spots, and I'm just bridging the 2. That's why I'm not looking at either of them because I'm looking at the chats. Christy says I could listen to you all day. Well, I'll keep posting on social media so you can listen to more, Christy. But this is, what you see in me is within you. That's it. That's why you're resonating. I'm just speaking what your soul knows and shedding light on it. So looking now that we've read chapter 15, and if you haven't, when you get yours, go there. Chapter 1 in the book I have, which is the link I had on Amazon that hopefully most of you guys got, it's page 30 to page 20. So 17 pages over the next week. And it's chapter 1. It's called Viewing Intention from a New Perspective. I think we'll meet there next week discussing this. Larry says he could go longer. Let's see how we do. So we'll go 30 minutes today. Next week, we'll see if we need more. Like, I don't know what the content of this book is going to be, but as I told you, like, that one sentence, we could probably deliberate for hours, days, years. I mean, like, it's like, yeah. So we'll feel good, guys. Does chapter 1 feel good? 17 pages over the next week. Like, I feel like that's a good place to start. And we'll work through what it is. Nice. And guys, if you have thoughts on anything that we can do to make this better, please let me know. Candy says, bravo, Danielle and everyone. Great start for us all. Looking forward to next week, and have a wonderful Easter. Yes. I hope you all do. Chapter 1. Perfect. And what are we all going to do? We are going to hold our space. We are not going to let the external world dictate if we're happy or sad or whatever. We'll observe. We'll think maybe I need to not digest that because it's making me go off so much, right? But you don't want to manipulate your world so you're just hidden from everything. You want to be out in the world, but you want to be able to hold your space in it. Does that make sense? I don't want you guys to like shadow away from everything. No, you got to learn how to shift like a high energy will shift all the other energy to it. You can hold that space. Christy said, I so needed this. The discussion takes it all to a new level and helps me really absorb it. Good. Christy, thank you. Guys, yeah, talking through this stuff it's everything. And like, we can so easily skim over these things, but it's like, you got to hear it, and repetition is everything. So, watch this again if you need. And I will see you same time, same place on Monday. And I hope you guys have a beautiful week. And I'm sending you so much love. And let's go hold our space. and let's make it a good week, because we get to make it a good week. So lots of love, guys. Bye.